Hey guys, so I can see that you guys like this series so much. So today I'll be doing part 2 for What If Goku was like Yamoshi. So the way this What If begins is we now see Goku being trained by Master Gohan and Bardock, each of them having separate things to teach him. Bardock teaches him the way to get stronger in the way of a Saiyan, while Gohan teaches Goku martial arts and the way to use ki for more developed techniques. These two contrasts leads into Goku becoming a much more skilled fighter than the original and having a power level much higher than the one that we see at the beginning of Dragon Ball. So now, when Goku is about 14, we now see a young woman in a car drive towards Master Gohan's house, and she gets stopped by Bardock instead of Goku. We see her shocked that someone was strong enough to flip over her car, and since Bardock was holding back, not trying to kill the person inside, Bulma was not hurt by Bardock stopping the car in any way. So then Bulma then enters Gohan's house and talks to Goku's family about the Dragon Balls and the powers that they have. So Bardock and Gohan think this is a good opportunity for Goku to learn about the world and become stronger. So they tell Bulma that they'll be sending their son to protect her and to help her find these Dragon Balls. To which Bulma looks at Goku and says, "A peep squeak like that is gonna help me?" But then Goku simply finds a stone and throws it, and it goes into the atmosphere. And that's when Bulma knew that Goku, despite his appearance, was not a pushover. So now what happens is Goku and Bulma then go and they travel to find the Dragon Balls. So I would say everything happens the same way as original. Goku actually knows who Master Roshi is since Gohan talked about him and the Ox King. And then Goku then decides to train under Master Roshi for a few years. He learns the Kamehameha wave. And he overall learns all these things faster because he is the Super Saiyan God after all. So he does have an elevated potential. So now, as time passes, Goku starts remembering some things from his previous life. He remembers how he used to be called Yamoshi and how he had this power of Super Saiyan God, and he had another Super Saiyan type power that was locked inside of his body that was never unleashed. And this made Goku wonder on what it could have been. So Goku every day starts remembering more fragments of his life, and eventually, as every day passes, the God Ki inside of Goku starts becoming stronger and stronger, until one day, when Goku is fighting a foe, it unknocks for one split second and his hair turns red, and he knocks the opponent in one strike, and the opponent is sent flying and gets knocked out immediately. This is when Goku first discovers his Super Saiyan God transformation. So now, we now skip over, since I don't want to spend a lot of time in the Dragon Ball era, we now skip to see the Pilaf gang summoning Piccolo since they had failed in getting the Dragon Ball since Goku was too strong. And we now see Demon King Piccolo being unleashed onto the world. His children managed to kill Krillin and a lot of people who were Goku's friends. And on top of this, when Gohan was trying to stand up to Demon King Piccolo, Piccolo killed him also. And this shot Goku over the edge. His locked power is slightly unraveled, and we see Goku getting angrier and angrier. And he unlocks the legendary Super Saiyan form for a split second. And he punches Demon King Piccolo in the stomach. This does much more damage than what happened in the original. Piccolo's, just from the force, Piccolo's arms and legs come flying off. On top of this, he is barely conscious, hanging on to life. And then he spits out one egg for his son and launches it far away. But that's the last he could do. He could not say anything or think anything after that. He just died due to the force of Goku's attack. In his rage, he started going berserk. Bardock and Guinea didn't know how to stop him. His power level kept overflowing, expanding, becoming larger. And we could see Goku becoming less knowledgeable of what was around him as he starts rampaging. Bardock barely is able to stop him. And at the end of the day, a lot of people got damaged by this attack. So then, what happens now is Goku meets Kami, and Kami says, "If I could teach you how to meditate and calm yourself, you would become a much more calm fighter and more able to control that power of yours." And Goku says, "Well, I'll be more able to control my legendary Super Saiyan form?" And Kami says, "Yes, it is quite possible. But first, you will have to try and unlock it first." So, at this moment, Super Saiyan God only appeared at that one situation and never appeared again. Since the fact that the Goku has two different forms with two different principles means that Goku had to master each of them individually. Like, for example, the Super Saiyan God transformation is a calm transformation in which you're supposed to keep your ki inside of your body instead of letting it flow out of your body. But on the other hand, the legendary Super Saiyan form is a form that is angry and, how do I say it? It's angry and it's not as stable as a Super Saiyan God transformation. It's more violent and wild per se. So this means that Goku can't master them all at once, and once he starts mastering one, it temporarily stops him from being able to master another. So since he has now started on his legendary Super Saiyan route, he's gonna first have to control the legendary Super Saiyan form, and afterward he'll have to learn to calm himself and bring himself to the point where he can use Super Saiyan God to an effective degree. And maybe after mastering both of these, he can then mix them together to create something new altogether. So now Kami takes Goku under his wing for 3 years, and Goku becomes stronger. But over this time, do not think Bardock became weaker, as that's actually the opposite. Bardock had been training with Roshi, and he went around the planet looking for new techniques. He met Fortune Teller Baba. On top of this, he went and collected the Dragon Balls and wished for everyone who was killed by Piccolo's army to be revived. And this revived Gohan also and everyone else who had died. So that means that there was one less thing to worry about. On top of this, Bardock simply learned a lot more techniques. He learned the Dodon Ray. On top of this, he learned the Kamehameha Wave. He learned telekinesis, funny enough, and transformations. So Bardock, in his right, is a very capable fighter. He may not be as strong as Goku, but his techniques allow him to still compete in the fighting arena. So then, what happens now is we see Goku coming down from the lookout, and he's eager to join the new World Tournament this year. And funny enough, Bardock is gonna be part of it. So, how will this impact the future? We will see. On top of this, Chi-Chi will not be in this fight this time in the Tenkaichi, as when Chi-Chi asked to marry Goku, Goku didn't say yes, as since he was raised with his parents and his grandpa, he knew what marriage was, and he said, "I don't think I'm ready for such a thing yet." but maybe one day we'll see how it goes. So then now we go to the tournament. We see the matchups. Goku first beats Krillin, Bardock beats Guinea, Kami goes against Piccolo Jr. and Kami loses. Now after that fight, we now see Goku versus Piccolo Jr. And this Piccolo Jr. is not as weak as the one in the original. Piccolo had been training and he knew about Goku's legendary Super Saiyan form, so he had been training night and day to become stronger. And on top of this, he had made sure to be able to match up against Goku while he's in that form. So now Piccolo fights against Goku, and it's a very difficult fight until Goku uses his legendary Super Saiyan transformation, as this now brings Goku over the edge, as in his legendary Super Saiyan form, his power constantly increases, which means that Piccolo gets beaten at the end of the fight. But after some talking to with Goku, Piccolo decides that he isn't cut out for evil, but if he can learn how Goku became so strong, he too could become strong and rule the world. So now Goku and Piccolo make a sort of alliance and agree to become training partners. And now for the final, we see Goku versus Bardock. Now, Bardock has, I would say, in base, he's about 75% Goku's base form, since he does train and he is a mid-class Saiyan. But on the other hand, the problem is he doesn't have any transformations, so that 75% is the highest he can go. But on the other hand, he knows Goku's weaknesses. He knows Goku has a tail still, so his tail is weak. And on top of this, he knows that Goku isn't as smart in dealing with situations like transformations or when Bardock uses magic like telekinesis. So since Bardock doesn't want Goku to become cocky, he decides to end this fight very quickly. He uses his telekinesis to quickly lift Goku and throw him out of the ring. And this makes Goku angry. He shouts, "No fair, Dad. I expected a fair fight." And Bardock says, "All's fair in war, my son. If you don't learn how to fight against such techniques, they'll defeat you later." AKA like when Goku got beaten by foes like Majin Buu and Babidi and even Moro. So Bardock says, once you learn to deal with every technique, power won't be the only thing that makes you strong. Your tactics will be what will carry you forward. And tactics is also something that you as a future king of Planet Vegeta will need. So learn them well, my son. I expect you to beat me next time, no matter what powers I decide to use against you. And Goku understands the lesson his father was trying to teach him, as he says, "Thank you, Dad. I will take that to heart. I will make sure to become a master at tactics and a master at fighting. But just know this is the last time you're ever gonna win against me." As Bardock laughs and smiles and says, "We'll see about that, my son." Now we go 3 years into the future, as we see Goku training with Piccolo and Bardock and teaching them how to become stronger. And in the meantime, we now see a tall man with spiky hair coming from a space pod, ready to reunite with his Saiyan family. So I hope you enjoyed this part, guys, and yeah, have a good day. See you.